High noon and welcome in. This is the Mason Crosby Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. My name is Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Big TK Worse is in the house as well. No Mason Crosby today. No Mason Crosby tomorrow. No Mason Crosby all next week. Mason's going to be in, Colorado, Cancun, somewhere before Texas, Kansas, Wisconsin, before he gets back home to Tennessee. In that order, he will be at the Colorado game this weekend. He's getting inducted into the Colorado Athletics Hall of Fame, or he's been inducted. I guess he has a speech or whatever it is. And then he's going to Cancun for his niece, and then Texas for Thanksgiving, and then Kansas to hang out with Jordy, and then Milwaukee and Wisconsin to hang out with all of us here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Milwaukee, Green Bay, Wausau, Duluth, and Superior. Happy Thursday to everybody, where when you look outside today, it's starting to look a little bit like winter. It's not snowing yet, but the grayness that is pervasive today, Tommy, I can already see on your face you are not a fan of the gray.
It's dreary outside, yes, for sure. That's the word. It looks like, I don't know, I just love fall so much, and I hate that it's the shortest season.
Same.
It feels like it's
spring,
always.
I think spring is shorter,
probably, but
that's
like,
what they say.
I love the 58-degree days. You know what I mean?
Are
like those are what I live for. Once you get underneath, into the 45 range, you're like, okay, it's a little too cold if there's a wind with it. But yeah, the gray days for sure. Also, everyone was in Thailand today, and then everyone's gone in the same time frame there.
That's how that works. You have a meeting in Thailand, that meeting happens, and then everybody is out of Dodge. By the way, those 58 days where it's a little sunny and a little nice, those are the Andy Herman of weather.
Oh,
they're the absolute best.
The absolute best.
Yeah. Hold on, I got to retweet the stream. For those of you who don't know, we are on YouTube. We are on Twitter, live on video. You can also listen to us on all the apps, wherever you find your podcasts and those sorts of things. Plenty to get to on today's show. The Bucks are in action tonight at Fiserv. They take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Without Giannis, the Sixers are a 2.5-point favorite. We'll talk about that. We got Ben Steele from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. He's going to join us next. He is the Marquette basketball beat reporter. Marquette loses at Fiserv Forum, speaking of, last night to Dayton in overtime. A game, I think Marquette was only favored by 5.5 or 6.5, so they weren't an overwhelming favorite. They've struggled early this season. They struggled at the end of last season. So we're going to talk to Ben Steele about that. Dusty Evely from Acme Packing Company. He's going to join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to talk about all things Green Bay Packers with him. We'll probably talk a little Packers before him as well. We are going to make our weekly picks today. So we'll see. Mason might be making a guest appearance, or he might be just texting or emailing in his picks. We will find that out all together right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. It is Middays with Thunder edition and TK in the House edition of the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. I do want to talk a little bit about the Bucks and about Giannis, but before I get there, Matt LaFleur. Should we start? Is he Matt the Flower? Like, should we just call him Matt the Flower?
I call him MLF.
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 MLF is a little close to
MJF,
or just like words you're not allowed to say on the radio, according to George Carlin. Have you ever heard that bit? Like, words you're not allowed to say?
Yeah, 7 words, right?
He was a genius before. Stand-up comedy was a huge deal when he was around, but he was so much better than everyone.
Yeah.
Like, he was truly a genius who I wish that he was still around today, because what he would say about today's political climate and today's PC climate and today's wokeness climate and today's religious climate and today's earth climate.
Nobody would have been safe.
No.
Nobody's safe.
No, nobody's safe. And I think that's what we kind of miss in this, like, I pick my side, is that I feel like my side should be safe, but the other sides should be not safe. Under him, and the way comedians used to be, and it used to be okay that nobody was safe. Now it's like, oh, if I offend this person, I don't offend. Like, no. Come on. Like, let's have at it, people.
Is MLF safe from a George Carlin roast? Because I think that we have some clips from it.
Yep. I
think we should be siding with Matt LaFleur on at least one of these clips.
Well, let's start with that one because I know where you're going with this one. Do you have it up and ready to go?
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to play them here.
I can do them too.
All right, you play it because Matt LaFleur, when he was asked about the kicking situation that we are just all over right now, and we have an obligation and a duty, it feels like, on this show to always acknowledge the kicking situation because we do get to work with Mason Crosby on a daily basis.
True story.
And I'm over kickers. I'm already over kickers, it feels like, after all this time.
And if you're a Friends fan, you should know that we never should have been under kickers.
Yeah.
Like we never should have been under kickers. We shouldn't have to be over. It's kind of like the whole Malik Willis thing. We never should have had to have that conversation.
Yes.
We never should have been having these conversations. Here's Matt LaFleur today when asked, did Brandon kick yesterday?
Did you guys kick yesterday?
We did.
How did that go for Brandon?
He had a really good day.
Will you kick again this week or not?
Tomorrow.
Is that, I don't know, I mean, nothing you can do about it, I suppose, but after a guy pops up on Saturday, do you have to kind of tiptoe around a little bit, or you just kind of go full speed ahead, and if you can kick, you can kick it?
I think we've done enough through the situation, and we got two guys that we believe in, and you just deal with it. I don't know how else to put it other than that you just adjust, adapt, and make the best of whatever the situation may be.
Tell me how badly you don't want to talk about a topic by telling me how badly you don't want to talk about that topic. I mean, even hey, did you guys kick yesterday? We did. How'd Brandon do? He looked good. When are you going to kick again? Tomorrow. Like, he does not want to talk about kicking. Right?
Yeah, and it sounds like with that back end answer too on, we have two guys that we believe in, seemed like the most sarcastic comment I've heard Matt LaFleur talk about in a while.
Like, he just wants to be done with this. He just wants it to be over. He's going to say everything politically correct to not offend Goody, to not offend McManus specifically. But like, if I was him, man, this is garbage. What are we doing?
It sounds like Matt LaFleur trying to hint at, hey, if it was my call, we'd have one kicker on this team. And I would love to have another roster spot for anyone else other than a second kicker on the team. And moving forward with Brandon McManus is the right call. Everyone knows that's the right call. You paid this guy in the offseason to be on this team for the next 3 seasons.
That's right. Yep.
And now you have one guy with one awesome week.
Yep.
And then since then, not really anything else to come and show for it.
But also, like, McManus, then, like, they make him kick 2 days in a row, and then he's not healthy enough to kick in a game.
What is that? What is that? I heard that again. And, like, Crosby was freaking out about kicking 2 days in a row one day. And then he was like, okay, well, sometimes we kick 2 days in a week.
Yeah.
But
he didn't. He did it like 10 times his whole career, I bet.
So why are they continuing to push McManus when they know that they're dealing with a ginger leg for him? And quite frankly, it seems a little irresponsible on Matt LaFleur's standpoint, but I think he needs to be validated so that he doesn't have to use Lucas Havrisik, and he can't get that unless he sees it more close to game day, apparently, in his eyes.
Well, and that's why it makes sense. Like, he had a good Wednesday, and he's going to kick again on Friday. Like, that's when you kick. You don't have to kick 2 days in a row. It doesn't make any sense. As LaFleur said, they've just had to deal with it. They've had to adjust. They've had to adapt. They got two guys they believe in, which is great, but you shouldn't have two guys you believe in. You should have one guy you believe in who they do. And if they have two guys they believe in, again, it's like if you have two kickers, you have no kickers. If you have two guys you believe in, get rid of one of them.
Yeah, need to.
Like, if you believe in both of them, then you believe in each of them individually. Brandon McManus has the track record and a 3-year contract.
Yeah.
Get rid of Havrisik. He's a great guy. We all love him.
He was awesome.
Good kid. Right?
Had him on the show.
Yep.
He was an awesome dude. Great interview. Thanks for popping on.
Give him a chance to win a job with somebody else.
It would probably benefit him, right?
Yes.
Like, you want to be just stuck on this team right now when you could have an opportunity to go somewhere else and kick for a different organization and
Mhm.
be the
Thank
guy.
you.
Like,
Thank you.
makes no sense that Green Bay is forcing him on this roster right now, and they are protecting him because if they put him down to the practice squad, someone's going to pick him up, and then they think, oh, we don't get anything for him. Well, it
Right.
still doesn't make any sense. You're not getting anything for him right now if he's becoming an inactive every Sunday.
We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. My name is Mitch Nellis. He is Tommy Wirtz. 920 text in to the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. That's 414-677-1250. If you want to call the show, be a part of the action, or if you want to text in a funny comment, a snarky comment, your sarcasm is duly respected and appreciated. He says Lulu LaFleur. I like that for Matt LaFleur. Matt the Flower, Lulu LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, obviously our head coach. And I agree with you, Tommy, to an extent. Like, he has been put in a bad position because of this. Like, this is not on him. This is, okay, McManus was hurt, and the decision probably should have been to put him on IR. They didn't do that. They tried to bring him back. He came back. He didn't look comfortable. Then they practiced him 2 days in a row, which, again, did not make sense. And now they've got two kickers. Let's see. We've got two guys we believe in. I don't care.
Yeah, he has much bigger problems to worry about, too.
Yes,
You're talking about a guy who has to really regain the trust of this team, this organization, this fan base on the offensive play calling side. And Matt LaFleur shouldn't have to worry about the kicking situation right now, as stressful as it's become as a Packer organization, because he's got to work with no Tucker Kraft, no Jaden Reed, no Josh Jacobs possibly for this week. He has a much bigger deal to deal with than who should be kicking on Sundays for this team.
Well, and you mentioned it. You started going down some of those injuries, not just on the offensive side, I would say, but the injury list that came out yesterday
It's a joke.
was, holy cow, a big list. Let's start with Josh Jacobs, Nate Hobbs, of course, Carl Brooks, Quay Walker, and Savion Williams did not participate. Okay? Limited participation. You've got, this is in alphabetical order, so not in order of importance. Limited participation. Ready? Javon Bullard, Edgerrin Cooper, Romeo Dobbs, Matthew Golden, Keyshawn Nixon, Micah Parsons, Zach Tom, Lucas Van Ness, Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks. Is there a wide receiver that I did not name?
Malik Heath.
Right. Malik Heath,
yeah.
who was suspended last week. I mean, we could say whatever it was, left home, mental health break, suspended. I don't know what it was. He's not listed. Jaden Reed, who's on IR. We did not name him, but he's on injured reserve. Literally, right? Dobbs, Golden, Watson, Wicks, and Williams.
Yeah, that's.
Am I missing somebody?
That's everyone other than Malik Heath.
I almost wish that like Luke Musgraves, like his
pride is
soul.
injured.
Yeah, his soul
on the IR with shame.
Jordan Love and Brandon McManus also listed here, but also full participants. Jordan Love, of course, with the left shoulder injury that he missed 7 snaps for, and Brandon McManus with the right quadricep is going to be listed there. So, Matt LaFleur was asked about the injuries, and he said he's not worried about that right now. Like, he'll get more worried as they get closer to game time, but he can't be worried on Thursday morning about who's available and who's not available. He's just got to play with who's available. He's just got to move forward. He did say that Quay specifically is feeling better. They don't know. They're going to get him out there. And I also about Josh Jacobs. He said, let's see, I have it. I wrote it down. Quay's feeling better. Windows open. Isaiah. They're going to warm him up today, and practice is just underway now. They're going to warm him up and see how that goes. But speaking of Josh Jacobs, Tommy, you and I think, have been cheerleaders this year of Manny.
Oh, yeah.
Not Manny Ramirez, Emmanuel Wilson, the real Manny, the Manny on our Green Bay Packers. We've been very impressed with the energy, not just the energy, but also how hard
Yeah,
he
the
runs,
style,
right?
the
Yeah.
style of his game. I think Emmanuel Wilson has done everything that you could ask for out of the backup running back to a guy who
Yeah.
should be an all-pro, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like Josh Jacobs is obviously going to have the bigger workload and obviously be more important to the offense, but the role that Emmanuel Wilson finds himself in on just picking up wherever they need him to, I am always impressed with what Emmanuel Wilson does. I think he does a very solid job as the backup running back for the Green Bay Packers.
And before we get to Emmanuel Wilson and what Matt LaFleur had to say about him today, I do want to throw out this question for everybody on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 414-677-1250. I've got two questions for you, so you can answer either one. One is, are injuries an excuse? Can you use injuries as an excuse? Every wide receiver, not named Malik Heath, who again was suspended, left home last week, every wide receiver showed up on the injury list, as well as Josh Jacobs and Zach Tom's there, and Elton Jenkins is out for who knows how long. Can you use injuries as an excuse? That's the first question. So feel free to give us a call or text in 414-677-1250. The second question is, how much do you believe in Emmanuel Wilson? Like, having seen what you saw from him last year and this year, if Josh Jacobs can't play, are you fully on board? Are you moderately on board? Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you all systems go? Is it the same playbook? Is it a modified playbook? How do you feel if Emmanuel Wilson needs to be the guy for a week or two in place of Josh Jacobs? Let's hear what they talked about Emmanuel Wilson today at Matt LaFleur's press conference.
I asked Emmanuel yesterday about what you said about being hard on him, and he laughed, and he said he gave me hell every single day as a rookie.
I probably need to go back to that.
Are you that tough on a guy because you ultimately see something in him and want to bring it out in him?
Yeah, I think anytime, I think that's a good thing if you're getting coached and you're held to a high standard. That means that we obviously see something in you as a player. And if we're not talking to you, that's probably a problem. So I think, there's a lot more good that comes with that and the expectations that come with that than if, you're not saying anything to somebody.
I love that answer. I feel like they went from that to talking about Brandon McManus. I feel like if somebody was really listening in the room, and Matt LaFleur never would have answered this, Tommy, but what if the follow-up question had been like, who are you hardest on this year? Like, who are you harder on? Matthew Golden or Savion Williams? Like, I would have loved to hear that answer.
Yeah.
I don't know who else. I mean, obviously, Belton's there, but I don't know that, like, that's the guy. But, like, is it Golden?
Do you
or
feel you need to be harder on Jordan Love?
Right.
Something along those lines.
Or Matthew Golden.
Right. One of the guys.
As your first-round draft pick, do you need to be? But that answer doesn't surprise me at all with regards to Emmanuel Wilson.
No, it's next man up mentality, and
that they saw something in him.
I see it too. Yeah. I see something. I'm not saying I see him competing with Josh Jacobs when Josh Jacobs is healthy, but if anyone wants to, look at all the love AJ Dillon was getting as a backup running back in this team, in this organization just a few years ago. I see Emmanuel Wilson with his play style. I see the potential to have that type of love with this team.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talking text line. Your thoughts on Emmanuel Wilson? Do you have a little bit of a man crush on him like me and Tommy do? Or are you all systems go with Josh Jacobs, even if he's not 100%? And are injuries an excuse? Every wide receiver on the injury report, except Malik Heath. And is that an excuse coming into this Sunday, Vikings at Packers? We're going to switch gears. Ben Steele from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, our Marquette Golden Eagles beat reporter. He was there last night. Not a good night at Fiserv for Marquette. Not a great start to the season, 6 games in for our Golden Eagles as well. Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company at 1. Our weekly picks coming up in the 1 o'clock hour as well. My name's Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. He's Tommy Wirtz. We are the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. What up? What up? This is the Mason Crosby Show. It's Middays with Thunder, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Tommy, Big Dub, T-Dub, TK, Tommy Wirtz is here. Are you still the Kmart model?
I think so.
Yeah. Like, is that forever or is that?
Yeah, Kmart's forever, man.
Okay,
what are you
all right,
talking
all right.
about? Kmart's not going
I'm
anywhere.
just checking. They have a lot of them have though.
Yeah,
you know,
I
big
mean,
boxes aren't doing so great.
I
we know.
understand. I understand. But Kmart, like, you can't be from Cudahy and not just be a Kmart for life guy.
I think it's one of the reasons I love Stranger Things so much. I mean, I love it because of it. I think it's really smart, but like it also is very nostalgic. Like season 3, which basically takes place in a mall. Like
malls are just nostalgic in general.
Right, that's what I'm saying, man.
Else.
I loved malls so much. So much.
I feel like I loved malls, and malls
your
are
soul,
just
right. Your soul is a soul that would have loved malls.
yeah, and now it's just they're just sad every time you walk in them.
It's true. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Marquette beat reporter for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Ben Steele in the house. Ben, how are you doing, sir?
What's up, guys? Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. We've got all sorts of stuff to talk about, not necessarily only Marquette, but we got to start. Does Marquette stink?
There's certainly a lot of evidence that points to that fact for sure. 3-3 on the season. Their 3 wins have only come against, pretty low major cupcake teams when they play
Albany,
teams that are actually good at basketball.
Right, right. Yep.
And some of those teams were missing like some starters too. So even the bad teams weren't as good as they could be. It certainly points that it's going to be a pretty bleak season for Marquette this season.
And so it was interesting that they lost the game last night to Dayton in overtime, because just yesterday on the Mason Crosby Show, I had put Shaka Smart on Thunder Watch. Thunder Watch is kind of our weekly. It's not always a bad thing. It's not always a negative, but it's like somebody who we need to keep an extra eye on. And I know we've talked about this since last year, the fact that like Marquette is proud that they don't get transfers, and they're proud that they draft and develop or recruit and develop, to steal a phrase from the Packers. And that's all great in a universe where that works. I'm worried that Marquette has entered into a universe where that doesn't work, where if every other school is doing something and you're not, you're either stubbornly proud or idiotically proud.
Yeah, it's certainly true. I asked Shaka Smart about that last night after the game. He was still pretty adamant that the way he likes to do things has proven that it's worked in his previous 5 seasons here at Marquette. I should say that he's entering his 5th season now.
Okay.
But, he pointed to the success of Tyler Kolek and Oso Ighodaro and Omax Prosper, guys who, it's true, they got criticized at the beginning of their careers at Marquette too. They had flaws. They got better. They became NBA players. But yeah, you're right. The growth mindset that Coach Shaka Smart likes to talk about, they were expecting that this season from the sophomore and junior class. And that's been the biggest issue with this team, that those players that they're counting on to make big leaps this season, it hasn't happened. It's only 6 games of the season. I don't want to write it off completely yet, but it certainly doesn't look good so far.
Ben Steele joining us from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. We're talking some Marquette hoops. Is it that simple that they expected these guys to get better, or is there more to the concept of like Marquette fan needs to be patient because some years it's going to hit and some years it's not, and then to go off of that to continue the conversation, like, is Marquette going to miss out on opportunities because of how they do business?
Yeah, I mean, they were certainly counting on the development of these guys. And the thing is, this year's team, they lost so many seniors last season, Cam Jones, David Joplin, Stevie Mitchell, that played such big roles last season. So everyone this year is going to be thrust into bigger roles. That's just the natural progression of things. And so they expected development out of those guys, but you never quite know, right? Until you get on the court and under the bright lights in real games, you never quite know what you have. So I think you're just seeing that awkward growth stage play out right now, and how they respond to this adversity. I mean, this is going to be the ultimate. Shaka's talked about this season is going to be a stress test for his way of doing things, and the stress is on the team right now. Like it's pressing down on them. For
Ben,
sure.
Ben, do you think that again? Whenever I watch Ben Gold, I'm always just sitting there like, can you get underneath the hoop? Like, there's no big men on this team. It feels like,
Yeah.
and yesterday he took 1-2 on his whole day. He was 2 for 6 from behind the arc, and Marquette was not very good from behind the 3-point line yesterday either. Watching that game, like, is that something that is now turning into a little bit of a problem with Shaka Smart over now? This seems like it's the second year in a row that they're struggling for a big man presence, and maybe you really haven't had one since Oso. It didn't really hurt them in the rebounding department yesterday, but Dayton was going in and just shooting twos all day. They only took 17 threes in the ball game yesterday. Like, it's something that I think a lot of teams are going to try to exploit all year, Ben.
Yeah, it's crazy when you look at the box score. I mean, Marquette forced 25 turnovers yesterday. I'm looking at it right now. Marquette had 16 more shots. It was the same thing against Maryland. They had 21 more shots, even more pronounced in that game. You should be winning those games. It's just strictly on those numbers, but Marquette's just giving up easy points around the basket. Anytime an opposing team gets a shot off, it's right around the basket. Those are the most efficient shots, and there's no rim protection for Marquette. This is where I think there's a strong argument for going into the transfer portal. They knew that they had younger big guys, and in college basketball, there's just a huge difference between a skinny 18-year-old guy and a 22-year-old guy you bring in that's been in a strength and conditioning program for 4 years at a high major level. It's just physically different. That's where I think the strongest argument that Marquette should have gone into the portal and just found just a big guy that could just plug a gap when you're just playing against teams that have bigger personnel than you, and you just need a guy to throw out there for a little bit.
And I think to that point, like, you can find a Marquette guy. Like, you can find a guy who fits the culture. I know Shaq is big on culture, and that comes with recruiting. But you can find a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old who maybe played at a mid-major. And, like, listen, that's the system these days. That's how this works, is that you go get that 20, 21-year-old. They're out-rebounded 28-21. Like you mentioned, they took 16 more shots. Dayton made one more shot, though. Dayton shoots 53% from the field. Marquette shoots 38%. So not only do they not defend, they also can't shoot. I have a feeling that in basketball, and I don't know ball, but in basketball, if you can't shoot and you can't defend, like, I feel like you're not going to be very good.
Yeah, my biggest concern about this Marquette team going into this season was that where's the offense going to come from? There's no clear shooters on this team. And I think that's proven to be the case. I think that's going to be an issue all season. The defense, that's the most concerning thing to me. When you force all these turnovers and you're getting easy baskets, you should be able to stop another team at least from getting close to the basket. And they have so many, like, if you just look at their roster, they have so many like 6'4", 6'5", super athletic guys, long arms that should be really good defenders. And I do think the defense will improve. Like Shaka Smart's got 15 years of data as a basketball coach, right? And most of his teams are have finished in the top 40 in defensive efficiency. So he's got a proven track record. Now there's been blips here and there. That's just the way it is with any big sample size like that. But this could be one of those years. But I just think there's enough athletes on this team that this team should be better defensively. It's just when you rely on turnovers that much, especially once we get into conference play, playing against better teams, they're not going to turn the ball over as much. They're going to have better ball handlers. They're going to have you scouted better because they know you better from facing you so many times. So just the offense is going to be a question all season. There's just no shooters on this team. That's probably I don't have any solution for that part. There's just no shooting on this team.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to be a problem. It's hard to fix that mid-season, right? Like you kind of know you have your shooters, you know you don't have them when they do. But you bring up the defense. Like, I mean, they're playing Marquette basketball, and they're pressure packed and pesky. And like you said, you watched that game against Dayton yesterday, and Dayton is stressing out anytime they have to dribble for more than 10 seconds. It feels like Marquette has an opportunity to get that steal. They walked away with 21 steals as a team yesterday. It's an insane number, and it really just feels like they are missing that rim protection right now. But looking at some other people on this team, I saw yesterday Trey Norman. I thought I saw a little something out of him. And he's, junior, been a part of the program now for a little bit, but he's always been a bench guy. He's always been quiet. But when he was on the court, it felt like good things were happening. And I know it's a team that's already really deep at the guard position. And looking at it, they're struggling to find more guys to help in the front court rather than the back court. But I do think that this Marquette backcourt, Ben, has the potential to be a part of a good roster.
Mhm.
It's just that none of these guys, do you really feel, can carry a roster like this for Marquette?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, if you look at it, it's basically like a roster of complementary pieces, and the pieces just haven't cohered yet. And there's no like clear, like Chase Ross is the clear go-to scorer, but he's been a secondary third scorer his first 3 years here to guys like Cam Jones and Tyler Kolek. So he's facing adjustment as the most experienced guy, bumping up to that 1A star slot that he's in now. And he's been good. He struggled yesterday, and if Chase is struggling, like, the team's just not going to win in any of those games.
And I got one more for you here, Ben. When we're talking about Shaka Smart, he is very synonymous, like we were talking about, with the transfer portal and being so anti with it. Is this a season where there could be some more pressure put on that take? Because if we see what we're seeing right now out of Marquette, where they've played 3 teams that are not necessarily all Power 4 because of Dayton, but bigger major powerhouses not powerhouses, but programs in the country. Like you beat Albany, you beat Southern, and you beat Little Rock. But once you have to go up against Indiana, Maryland, and Dayton, really you're not getting the results you need. And the only thing you can point to is the lack of the portal with Marquette. And I respect that Shaka Smart wants to do things his way and go a little bit against the grain. But if this season turns out to be as poor as the start has been to the year, could this be a pressure moment now for Shaka Smart to get involved in the portal?
Yeah, I mean, the schedule's only getting harder. Like, you look just in the next couple weeks, and they're playing Oklahoma and Chicago. That might be as close to a winnable good game as quality game that Marquette has. And they play at Wisconsin and at Purdue. Those are going to be extremely tough tests for this team. And then, St. John's and UConn and the Big East just seem to be levels above where Marquette is right now.
They still got the Paul.
Yeah.
They still got the Paul. If that goes sideways, then
the pressure's on.
This conversation just exponentially amplifies.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's going to be more losses coming. They're going to have to reevaluate after the season. The interesting thing is the roster is completely full next season. As we sit here now in November, they got 3 recruits coming in, so all 15 spots are taken for next season. Again, like, things change rapidly at the end of the season. Players can decide in this day and age that they want to go to they see other places they want to go. We can only wait to see how many spots Marquette has, but as of right now, there's no spots available. So they could be running this thing back next season too, just without Chase Ross and Ben Gold.
That doesn't sound great. I got to be honest. Like, and in this day of NIL and transfer portal, like, I know other schools kind of kick guys off the team. And I know, again, that's not Shaka's way. That's not the Marquette way. But if you have guys who clearly can't play at this level, don't you have to figure out a way to facilitate a move to a mid-major, a smaller school, opportunity to play, that sort of thing?
Yeah, Marquette's had a couple guys, 3 or 4 guys during Shaka Smart's tenure that have transferred out to go to lower schools, lower mid-major teams. I think pretty much all of those have been player-led decisions. They just wanted more playing time. They just didn't see the pathway to any playing time at Marquette. I don't foresee Shaka Smart. Just his whole ethos is his relationship with his players, and I don't think he might tell someone, look, man, I don't see a lot of playing time for you. Maybe you want to look somewhere else. He would never just like force a guy off a roster completely. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, but it's
he would have honest conversations for sure.
That's what I'm asking for. Yeah. That's all I'm asking for, to have those honest conversations, to say, this might not be the best place for you to grow if you want to keep playing basketball. As a man, as a person, we love having you here and you're welcome to stay here. But if you actually want to play on the court in college basketball, you might not want to stay here. You might want to go somewhere else. I'm just asking for honesty.
Yeah. I can see that happen. And if the season goes the way it's been going, there's going to be a lot of tough conversations for sure.
Ben, what else you got coming up? I know, you're game to game, but any features, any other stories you're working on, anything else you want to let everybody know about?
No, I'm going to go to the Bucks game tonight, take a break from the Marquette angst is coming down pretty heavy today. So,
so the Bucks, so you get to jump in the Bucks angst with no Giannis,
it doesn't get
right?
much better, probably, Ben.
There's angst all over the place, man. I'm just a magnet for it. But yeah, I got a few things cooking, nothing crazy.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you jumping on. I feel like anytime we want to talk Marquette, we send up the bat signal and you answer. So we definitely appreciate that. And we will absolutely catch up with you throughout the season, hopefully with some better news, or not necessarily better news, but better outlook. Like if, kind of, I don't want to make any comparisons to Badger football, but it feels a little bit like Badger football right now, today at least.
Yeah, there are definitely some parallels in that for sure.
Yeah. All right, Ben, thank you so much for jumping on. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
You bet. That's Ben Steele from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel joining us here on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Follow him at Ben Steele MJS on the socials. And Ben's locked in. Ben gets it. I love his realism. Like, he's not a cheerleader, but he's also not going to trash on them. Like, he's just going to call it like he sees it.
I mean, it's calling it how you see it right now. Like I said, I'm very frustrated. It's been like that with Ben Gold for his entire career with Marquette.
He is who he is.
He
should be a better shooter than.
Yeah, right. If you're going to be a stretch big, be a stretch. Right. Then you otherwise you are the only big on this team right now that has some experience. Parham a little bit, but I watch Marquette and I am frustrated that they don't have a big guy, and that's just something that.
And we were frustrated with that last year.
We were frustrated with that last year with this team. We saw it as it was going to be a weakness down the stretch. And college basketball, like Ben was saying, bigs run the world in college basketball.
Just get a guy who can run the court, play 20 minutes, block, rim protect, rebound. Ziggy says, he writes into the talk and text line, look, if you got 21 steals and 20 more shots than your opponent, 16, it's not rim protection that's needed. You need shooters. Why are they missing so many shots?
Well, it's because they're giving up so many easy ones too.
And because their shooters, they don't have shooters.
Yeah, their shooters
the guys they have are not shooters.
Yeah.
They just don't, they're missing that. They don't have just that guy who's just not going to miss an open three.
Right. I mean, Chase Ross, can get hot as a pistol whenever, though.
But he's streaky. He's a streaky shooter. He always has been.
They were excited about Lowry last year coming in as well. And Demarius Owens was another guy they were really excited about, but not getting enough time. They just have too many guards and not enough bigs. That's the problem with this team.
This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. When we'll come back, we will touch on the Brewers, the baseball new media deal. We'll also touch on Giannis and his absence as the Bucks do get back on the court, like Ben Steele let us know. Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company, will join us at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. This is the Mason Crosby Show. This is the Mason Crosby Show, middays with Thunder and TK. Tommy Wirtz right here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We're on in Green Bay. We're on in Duluth, Superior. We're on in Milwaukee. We're on in and two additional still paying $550 million for Major League Baseball. NBC $200 million. Netflix $50 million. ESPN gets the in-market streaming rights for 6 teams, and a new 3-year deal. It was announced, so there will still be games on NBC and Peacock. There will be games on Netflix.
Yeah.
There will be games.
The home run derbies on Netflix.
Apple TV.
Apple TV still gets Fridays.
Yep.
Like, this is why the NFL is king in America.
Fox, does Fox have?
They have the NL or the LDS, the LCS,
and they still have
and the
Saturday
World
nights?
Series. Like, this is why the NFL, you turn on your local station, Fox, CBS, wherever, and there's football on every time. That you turn on ESPN on Monday and it's football every time. Like, this is a joke right now.
Well, but it's still different. I mean,
And
you're
the NFL
still, hold on.
Yeah.
You're still Thursday night on Amazon Prime.
Right.
You're still Sunday morning on NFL Network.
Yeah.
You're still Sunday on CBS and Fox. You're still Sunday night on NBC, and you're still Monday night on ESPN.
But it's on local stuff, man. Like, this
if
the
you're-
NFL goes
yeah.
to streaming for one event. I mean, they did Netflix a couple times on Black Friday now, right? Is that
Right.
the other one they've done? But otherwise, it's Thursday Night Football.
Amazon
and,
Prime, right? Amazon Prime.
and that's it. Everything else
Right,
is
but
just
that's
on
still-
TV.
But there's so many fewer games. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's still like NFL is, if everybody wants to watch it and everybody playing fantasy football, like, none of those games should be unavailable.
Right. I understand that. But I think that the NFL, and I know we only got a minute left here, but I think the NFL is just continuing to be king because of the network television. Now, it helps that baseball is getting a lot more network television with this deal.
Yep.
They're going to go to NBC.
Yeah, there's your TV.
But
There's
man,
the TV
like,
you're arguing for.
that's one day a week.
I know.
It's garbage.
But I don't think it's been more in the past.
Well, I already have
Like,
a
they just
streaming
didn't
service for
increase.
FanDuel to watch Brewer games, right? Like, it's another
Because
one.
every
like-
local team, right? Very different sport. I think you're right to pile on baseball. I think you're not right to praise to praise the NFL. I think they're just as dirty as the rest of them. That's what
maybe.
And I think it's going to get dirtier, not better.
Yeah.
Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company. We're talking Packers coming up next year on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
a Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, everybody, it is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. It is Middays with Thunder. I'm Mitch Nellis, a.k.a. Thunder. Tommy Wirtz here as well. Mason, I don't know, is he on his way to Colorado? He didn't tell us exactly when his travel.
He's going to send in picks, he said, too.
Okay. Yeah, I think he actually is speaking tonight, maybe.
Does he get penalized if he doesn't send picks in by the time? I feel like we got to take half your points if you're just
that is
picking whenever. What do you think this is, man? We got an operation we do on Thursdays here.
I think
conversation gets interesting if the show wasn't named after him.
Right. Then we definitely would penalize him for sure. But we will figure out our weekly picks as we get to that, and Mason will get his picks in some way or another. Basically, kind of like how Doug Gottlieb is getting his UW Green Bay team to the Paradise Jam with all the travel issues they were having. That's how Mason's going to get his picks. He'll find a Western Union telegram and telegram them into us. And Tommy doesn't even know what that means. That's okay.
I've heard of
all
telegram.
Right, relax.
I'm sorry I wasn't born before there were 50 states.
Yeah,
Mitch Nellis.
You are sorry. You are sorry. Joining us now on the Mason Crosby Show, Middays with Thunder. It's Thunder and Tommy, our very good friend from Acme Packing Company. He is Dusty Evely. Dusty, welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, thanks for having me. Tommy, if I would have known you were wearing a Tigers hat, man, I probably would have joined you in the parade here, but I'm going to leave you hanging solo today.
Yeah, I got this hat for a Magnum PI costume, and now I love it. It's a great hat. It's very versatile. It's one of the best logos in the game. But
it is a good one.
I get asked every time I wear this hat, Tigers fan? And I'm like, no, I'm a Magnum PI guy. And then if I talk to someone my age, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? If I talk to someone Mitch Nellis's age, they're like, this guy gets it.
Oh, Magnum PI, man. That was Tom Selleck, Hawaii.
You got to wear the Hawaiian shirt if you're going to wear the hat. You got to pair it, brother.
Dusty, have you ever done the Magnum PI with your Tigers hat? Have you ever done the mustache?
I probably should have. Listen, dude, I tried a mustache once. It didn't take. My wife
because you weren't wearing the Tigers hat.
She said, get rid of that thing immediately. Yeah. Well, I can't do the Selleck thing, man. I can only he can pull that off. So that's
I did a mustache, I think, once, and Mrs. Thunder just looked at me, said no, and turned around and walked.
That's how mine went as well. That is exactly how mine went.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking some time and jumping on the show. I know there's a lot to get to with our Green Bay Packers. I want to get to a bunch of the stuff you've done recently with breaking down some of that film. And I know you did some studies about how much the Jordan Love was in shotgun last week and what they need to do against the Vikings. But I want to start where everybody loves to start. The most exciting thing about our Green Bay Packers this season. What the hell are they doing still with two kickers on the roster? What are we doing here?
I mean, obviously they don't want to let go of one of them, because McManus is injured. You don't want to if you're just kind of on that, you don't want to be on the on that middle merry-go-round, the kicker merry-go-round, if they feel like they got something to Haversick. Part of me understands that. I also think if they had someone else to fill that spot with, you would just punt that dude to the curb. But however, but it seems like you could probably find a guy, a special teams guy or something that you could do that with. So they clearly don't feel good about McManus, but all right, man, well, then get rid of McManus or get rid of Haversick. Haversick, he's got a shotgun leg for good and bad, I think. So it feels like you could find a guy like that. I understand not wanting to get stuck in purgatory, but it seems crazy. We're on 4 weeks now, 4 or 5 weeks at this point of carrying
5 weeks.
That's pretty wild.
It is absolutely wild to carry that many on your active roster, even if one is inactive on Sunday. All right, that's enough. And I don't know if you listened to LaFleur today, but you could hear in his voice that he is done with this question. He's so over it. He knows he has to answer it. He said that he said at the end of it, he said, we have two guys we believe in. Well, if you have two guys you believe in, that means you believe in both of them. If you believe in both of them, you can get rid of one of them because you believe in them.
God, he wants Malik Willis to kick field goals so bad. He just you can tell. It's all in on what Matt LaFleur wants.
There was
That's
years
amazing.
ago. Do you remember when Ndamukong Suh kicked an extra
Yeah,
point?
Oh,
in extra
yeah.
point?
Absolutely.
Brother,
Chad-
what could Devontae Wyatt do? I'm just saying.
Oh,
let's
wow.
fire this
Okay.
up.
Don't
I
show
like
him
it.
the Ocho Cinco tape for Bo Melton either. Like
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
another one that
Mm.
just you could see that happening.
Just wants to kick. I don't know whether to go running back or wide receiver. I want to start on the offensive side of the ball. Everyone not named Malik Heath at the wide receiver position on the injury report. And obviously Josh Jacobs, we know, is banged up, and Emmanuel Wilson is ready to step in. Although I know that they were going to warm Josh Jacobs up today and see how that looked. Big picture offense. How much of an excuse can we make with the injuries, and how much whether they're on their injury report on a Wednesday, how much does that translate into what they can actually do on Sunday?
I mean, I think it depends. At some point, I mean, everyone this time of the year is somewhat banged up. Like Watson being on there, I think Watson's just that's residual. No issues there. Wicks has had some issues. It becomes an issue when he run out of bodies, which you could argue if you've got Bo Melton out there, not in the wide receiver room, but out there running routes, then you're starting to run out of bodies. But
right.
Man, you run out of bodies everywhere. Kraft is down. They brought up Wiley. Wiley did some stuff at the tight end position. You got Fitzpatrick. Musgrave can't do anything at this point. In terms of what they're asking him to do, I still think he could be a useful piece. But in terms of the wide receivers, buddy, you got to try it out who you got out there. So you can make excuses. You can always make excuses. But if guys are out there, you want them to perform at a level that you feel good about them being out there. This week, you want them in practice. It's a tough defense. Everyone's got to be on it. Everyone's got to know what's going on this week more than any other week, I think, against this Vikings team. And if you're not practicing, that's an issue. But I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not going to pre-make excuses. If you start running out of bodies, that becomes an issue. And right now, I don't feel like we're there yet, but we probably get there pretty quickly. I was looking at this last night, and I was like, I don't feel great about it, man.
Yeah. And then what about the running back position? I think Tommy and I are on the record of saying, if you need Manny Wilson to be the man for a week or two, we feel pretty okay about that. He's proven that he can play, but obviously you want a healthy Josh Jacobs for the home stretch.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, Wilson's fine. I think he's shown he can be fine. This week, I am all in on Chris Brooks, man. And that's just because I don't think it's that much of a downgrade in terms of the runner. He's a little bit more of a masher, a bigger dude, but he's better in pass pro than anyone else on the roster. And if you're going up against a Viking team that like to blitz, that like to be unpredictable, I would prefer, all right, man, we're going to average 3.4 yards a carry instead of 3.7, but we know we're going to be nails in pass pro. This week, I'd rather go Chris Brooks. Honestly, I'd rather go more Chris Brooks than Josh Jacobs. We know Josh Jacobs is a little banged up, but even if he's healthier than we think, I might lean a little heavier into Chris Brooks. It's the one thing we need to do this game, you got to pass pro. And Chris Brooks gives you the best chance to do that. Tight ends have been a little iffy. I think that's your best path forward.
Yeah, and Chris Brooks is predominantly brought in those passing situations. That's been something that Matt LaFleur's been very vocal about how good he is in pass pro as a running back for Jordan Love and for the Green Bay Packers. Well, this is now a week where he's going to face a Brian Flores defense where it's going to be a ton of blitzing. You know how it always is. They're a little banged up, and even with the blitz packages they tend to bring, they haven't gotten to the quarterback all that often. But Dusty, the Packers offensive line kind of stinks to where we thought it was going to be at this point in the season. How do you see that matchup affecting Green Bay, Jordan Love, their offense this week going up against Minnesota's front that loves to bring pressure?
I mean, they want to confuse you. I looked this up. The Vikings, since their week 6 bye, have blitzed 57% of the time, which on one hand, that's a lot, dude. That's a whole lot. But you can also bring blitzes different ways, and 5 guys straight up is different than, 5 guys or even 4 guys if you're kind of switching those guys out. I mean, that's the big thing. And part of the reason I'm not super concerned is that the Packers have had issues with good fronts, the guys who can bully you up front. They've not really had issues with picking up games up front, the stunts, some of the blitzes. They've not had a ton of issues with that against the Panthers. They had a couple free runners, and that was an issue, which is why I want Brooks back there. But in terms of assignment, I've had less an issue with them of assignment and more issues with them just getting bullied. So this week, if you're okay against the front, we have issues against the blitz, I actually kind of feel okay. Listen, I may look real dumb Sunday afternoon, real dumb, but I have less issues, I think, this week because they want to cause chaos. And I think the Packers are somewhat well suited for that. It's when you get big dudes that can push them. That's when they run into real issues.
Dusty Evely joining us here on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. And Dusty, I'm guessing you've watched a little bit of JJ McCarthy. I don't know if you've sat down and really broken
It's
him
fun,
down.
yeah.
But I think what we all hear is that like there are flashes of him being really good, and there are flashes of him being totally lost. What type of JJ McCarthy do you expect to see on Sunday?
That dude, he's just frantic. He is frantic. Like he will have, when he has the throws, he's got a better arm than I thought, and he can read out a defense like decently well. He runs into pressure, I don't know, man, 15 times a game where he's got a clean pocket and then everything looks good, and then he's got a guy open, and then he will just like take 3 steps forward and then get hit while he's throwing just because he ran into someone. And that's just been an issue with him. Like that's been all season. So we're going to get frantic. We're going to get a couple plays. They got Addison, they got Justin Jefferson. They've got skill position guys. We know they got Aaron Jones. Like they're going to make some plays, but also 15 times a game, he's going to run into getting hit, and he's going to throw 2 to 3 balls up. Like that's not unique to the Packers. The Packers, I think, are in a good position if their hands are a little better this week to take advantage of that. But I think we're going to get the JJ McCarthy we've seen so far, which is he's going to make some decent throws. Maybe early on we'll say like, oh man, is this the week? And then he's just going to get frantic and he's going to give you a couple. It's just, you got to capitalize on those when he gives them to you.
How are you feeling about the cornerback room, the defensive backs in general? A big test this week. I know Justin Jefferson been very frustrated while playing with JJ McCarthy. I think you're looking at a 40-yard difference in his average of what he has with anyone else at quarterback versus what he's putting up with JJ McCarthy at quarterback. But Jordan Addison, obviously a great number 2, and Jalen Naylor really emerging this season for Minnesota as well. Is this the toughest task so far for the cornerback room that Green Bay is rocking out there with? And is it going to be something that could really be a bad matchup in general for Green Bay?
Like on paper, yeah, I think so, just because the talent's there. But Jefferson's been getting a little more disinterested as the season's gone on. And again, it's just JJ McCarthy sailing stuff. Like if you're just looking at like the talent on paper, yeah, it's a tough matchup. But we also got Carrington Valentine out there playing really, really well. Again, if his hands weren't made of rocks, like we talk about him a little differently than we have been, but he's got, if you talk about 2 guys on the outside that have the mentality of cornerbacks you want to go up against these receivers, it's Nixon and Valentine, who just will talk, who just will, like, it doesn't matter what happens, they're getting up for the next rep, they're going to jam you, they're going to hit you, they're going to be physical, and they're going to talk. And if McCarthy starts sailing a couple and Valentine's just jawing at Jefferson, I don't think this goes well for the Vikings. So, I mean, on paper, it looks like a mismatch, just with McCarthy pulling the trigger and the way I think Valentine's playing and the way Nixon can have those high level plays. Again, they're going to give up some. Like that's just the nature of the beast. They're going to give up some, but I don't think they're going to get torched in this game.
We've talked so much, the 5 of the last 7 games are in division, and the other 2 are against Baltimore and Denver, which should be 2 big tests.
No.
This starts that kind of gauntlet in the NFC North, but the Vikings aren't exactly the Vikings. Big picture wise, as we look at the last 7 games, coming off a week, last week it was all, do you blame Love or do you blame LaFleur for, scoring negative 18 points against the Eagles or whatever they did. But big picture wise, how do you see this, the rest of this inconsistent Packers team that has consistently played to its opponent? How do you see them developing over the last 2 months of the season as they do try to make a playoff run?
Yeah, I mean, this game and this one, I'm very curious about the North stuff. I mean, the Vikings, we'll see what they do against the Vikings. I have a good feeling about this one. The Lions have been a little inconsistent. The Bears game will be a big one just because that run game is pretty good, and that's where the Packers have struggled. I think the Packers are well set. I mean, really more than the offense. I think I have more faith in the offense than a lot of people. If you look at like what the defense has done, what the defense has given up in terms of like modern defense, you don't want to give up explosives, you want to slow play at stuff. Dude, the Giants had 68 plays this past week. The Packers had 51 on offense. Like it's tough to get in a rhythm. It's if you go 3 and out, if you go 4 and out at a certain point, like you've lost one. And then if they're just churning down 14 play drives, like you're shortening the game, and that's tough. So I am curious to see going forward. The big thing for me, can they take this? Can they elevate to the next level? Not only as like a team that obviously like storms in the playoffs, but can maybe do something in the playoffs as well. What does this defense do? Can you get those takeaways? The takeaways been coming a little bit more. Can you just not give up, 4 yards on 3rd and 6 and then a 4th down? Like, can you tighten up? I think the defense as a whole has been well coached, but there's been a lack of aggression in some of that stuff that we kind of saw earlier in the season. Can they get back to that where they're not just, we're going to sit back in zone, we're going to give you what you give you, we're going to rally and tackle, because one blown tackle or a couple fourth down conversions, and suddenly like the offense has to play catch up when the offense should not be having to play catch up. So that's the biggest thing for me. I have faith in the offense. I think the offense is going to be fine. I think the offense has been fine. It's the defense for me, not playing a little more aggressive, a little less, I don't want to say passive because I don't think that's what they've been. But they have been kind of giving up a little more than you would hope, thinking like, well, they need to be perfect all the way down. And then defenses or offenses have been kind of perfect all the way down. But we saw this past week, right? Like Jameis got sacked on that fourth down. Like that the defense is doing what you're needing it to do. It's just, you're giving up too much time on that. And It just kills them sometimes.
Agreed.
Is a return of Lucas Van Ness that easy of a solution? Because there is two defenses, it feels like, this year with Green Bay. It's when Van Ness was a part of it and when Van Ness was not a part of it. And I never thought I would develop that take from the hatred I felt like I was spewing about Lucas Van Ness. But I also tried to warm up to Rashawn Gary this year, and now he's MIA as well, Dusty. So is Lucas Van Ness that important to the defense right now to have him come in as a rotational piece or cheetah package whenever they bring that apart? Is that someone that if he's ready to go and maybe possibly back this week or in a week or two down the line, like could that be someone that it's as easy as getting him put back into his place on this defense to really start to see something again out of Green Bay?
Yeah, I think it could be. I mean, that is, you've missed that rotation on the line. I do think, some of the interior too. Interior has been a little thin, and I don't think Wyatt's 100% healthy either. And so I think that's killed them a little bit. But you do hopefully, I mean, LVN and then Gary, and then Enigbari's been good this year, but like he's a little limited as a player. If you're kind of subbing LVN into some of the Enigbari stuff, and then maybe you get Gary a little more rest or Enigbari, like however you want to mix that with. If LVN's playing like he was early in the season, which I don't think he was a game wrecker, but he's a difference maker on that line, I do think that helps. And then if Wyatt can get a little healthier, I think that helps as well. It's just that interior has just not been quite as good as you kind of hoped with like all the preseason stuff with like Stackhouse, and they bring Brinson out and all that. Like Wooden has been good, but Brooks has been pushed around a little bit. Like the interior has not been great, but hopefully LVN does help shore some of that stuff up.
Well, and staying on the defense and kind of combining your last two answers about the takeaways. Does LVN make any difference when it comes, like, do they just need to hold on to interceptions, or is there something? I mean, I'm looking at total takeaways in the league, and the Packers are tied for fourth worst.
Yeah.
They're at 8. They're tied with the Cowboys, 8 takeaways for the entire season. The Giants and the Commanders have 6 takeaways. The Jets, by the way, have 1 takeaway all season long
with a defensive head coach.
Right.
By the way,
that's insane. But is it just like, I know there's a randomness to it. You force a fumble, who recovers the fumble? A ball gets popped in the air, who does it get popped to?
Yeah.
It's an oblong ball. It's not a circular ball. It's going to bounce weird sometimes. But is this something that could even out over the last 7 games with a team that does seem to have all the intangibles to get more takeovers? Does it become more tangible in the last 7 weeks?
You would hope, and again, some of that does come down to, I think, some of the way they play defense. I mean, they will do a lot of games up front, but the back end a lot is sit back, they fan those linebackers out, they play some spot drop, you're getting eyes on the quarterback, you're getting some of that stuff. But if you're getting the ball out quickly, the chances for interceptions just aren't there. If you're pressing a little bit more, if you press guys at the line, you're bringing pressure up front. If you're forcing those guys, brother, granted, Jameis Winston should have thrown 4 interceptions, but if you're not forcing guys to throw 15 yards down the field multiple times a game, those interception chances, like those aren't there. We saw what McKinney did last year. The chances haven't been there this year. Like, it's very rarely have they gone downfield. And so if you can kind of tighten up and then you're forcing them to push the ball a little bit more, I think that helps. Again, the fumble stuff is always going to be a little wonky. They've been ripping at the ball. It hasn't been coming. Even you mentioned the turnover stuff. Like, one of them was this past game, was the last play of the game when they strip sack Jameis Winston when he's trying to chuck a ball 70 yards or whatever it was. Like, that one barely counts. Like, it counts and that they close it out. That's like not an in-game thing. And so I do think and that's where I'm like, some of the passive stuff with the linebackers, some of the way they're kind of playing that kind of zone up front, if they tighten that stuff up and you're forcing them to execute a little further down the field, especially in this game against JJ McCarthy, I think those chances come. It's just the way they've been playing. We want you to be perfect. If teams are taking 5 to 7 yards a pop, those chances just aren't there. And I feel like interceptions you can count on a little bit more for this team than fumbles, and they're just not there if you're forcing them to just like, all right, we'll give you, if it's going to get an 8 out of 3 yards, like you're not going to get a lot of interception opportunities.
Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company. Follow him on Twitter at Dusty Evely. Okay, I'll spin it to a little bit of a positive tone to this conversation. Christian Watson. I mean, could you look
Yeah.
any better right now to the return from the ACL injury? And when you lose a guy like Tucker Kraft, who is the obvious number one option and the guy that this offense wants to rely on, Christian Watson seems like the only guy willing to take on the challenge of at least trying to rebuild trust for a number one option with Jordan Love. What have you seen from his game that really stands out to you right now? And can he develop into that guy that's going to be a massive part of the success of this Packers team in 2025?
Man, I hope so, man. Dude's just an absolute monster. Like, and not just as a receiver, the speed. I mean, both of those touchdown catches were just the strong. Like, dude's trying to rip the ball out of his hands and was not letting go. Like, just absolute insane. You've got some of that. He's great as a blocker. You've had a whole lot of like the insert block stuff where like he motions down between the tight end and the end of the line there, and then he'll release through there because you'll block stuff out of there. He released through there. They've been getting him on some of that stuff. So you've got like the versatility because you have to respect him as a blocker because he's so good there. And the biggest thing for me, I mean, we saw it in this game. I think we're going to see it going forward, and then next season as well. I looked at a bunch of like the best red zone scoring teams over the past couple of years, and there's a lot of things that go into it. You can scheme that stuff up. The biggest stuff, like the three main ingredients you need a good running game, or you need like a freak wide receiver, or you need a quarterback who is an elite scrambler. Packers didn't really have that this year. And now Watson, they've got like that freak wide receiver who like, oh, we'll just throw it up to him. We'll throw it up to that guy. And you don't necessarily want to throw 50-50 balls there, but the guy can come up with it. Like that is one of the answers. And so not just this season, but next season, like it opens up stuff in the field. You get some shot plays, you get some explosives out of this stuff as well. If you get him on the crossers and you get Yak that way, that's great. But I think where he makes a huge difference is just the red zone. So the question with him has always been, can he stay healthy? His catch rate's been tremendous the past 2 years. Can he stay healthy? And if he can, I think there's every reason to think they extended him for a reason. Like I think there's every reason to believe that he can be a huge piece of this offense, both scoring in the red zone and just functioning as normally. We've seen what a difference he made this year and next year. It's just, can he stay healthy? He's always been a little dinged up. He's missed time, but he's been a monster since he's been in there the past 2 or 3 years at this point.
He's been awesome to watch, no doubt about it. Dusty, let everybody know, what are you working on this week? What are you looking for this week? You know, we already talked about what you're looking forward to this weekend against the Vikings, but what are you specifically working on, and where can we find your stuff?
Yeah, if I'm the Acme Packing Company, I got a couple things up now. One that's a passing game review from the Giants game. One that is Josh Wiley. We wrote about Josh Wiley this past week. I'm working on something, hopefully be out tomorrow, that's on kind of a preview of the game, kind of looking at one of the things I like to look at is like how can you generate explosives against the team coming up? And so looking at like the best ways to generate explosive against the Vikings team. So I'm working on that tonight. Hopefully that'll be out tomorrow. And you can find all that stuff on Acme Packing Company.
Awesome. Dusty, thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, fellas. Thank you so much.
You bet. Absolutely. That's Dusty Evely, Acme Packing Company. Find him at Dusty Evely and just Google Acme Packing Company. It's all right there. He joined us on the guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. It is time for our weekly picks coming up here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon. Mason has sent in his picks, Tommy. I know you were nervous. But don't be nervous.
He was probably listening. He was like, "Oh,
Right.
I better send these in.
I better get them in. These guys are gonna blah blah blah.
Keep the operation smooth."
Oh, that nice. Yeah.
Snap, hold, kick, man.
I like how you think of it like so logically. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, I'm Mason Crosby. These guys are gonna be mean to me and blah 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 blah. Like, all right, that's not a Mason impression, by the way.
That was pretty good.
I don't know what that was. No one does. He's Tommy Wirtz. I'm Mitch Nellis, aka Thunder. Middays with Thunder, right here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
It's time for the boys' weekly picks. Hear who they think will win the big games this weekend. Just don't trust them. It's weekly picks with Mason Crosby, Mitch Nellis, and Tommy Wirtz.
And welcome back to the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon. I'm Mitch Nellis. He's Tommy Wirtz. Quick shout out to our friends at Wendy's. Wendy's has new chicken tenders, but because they're at Wendy's, they're called tendies. They are delicious. We got some dropped off earlier today, and I may have gotten a box of 4, and I may have crushed that in about 6 seconds.
Yeah, they also sent over a bunch of cool swag and merch. I have this brand new towel that I put up on my desk that is, it's like a rally towel size, and it has all their sauces listed.
You a sauce guy, bro?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is.
Nice.
That is awesome. It's awesome swag. They sent over lanyards and koozies, a dippable, like a little dip thing that you can put on your car. Like
I got like one of those Frosties, those squeezy things. I like that. I like those stress ball type things. Wendy's signature sauce, sweet chili sauce, scorching hot sauce. I went. Am I boring because I just went honey mustard?
No, honey mustard's delicious.
Right, honey.
Right.
I mean, it's a classic, but it's so it's not like one of those new cool flavors, but it's delicious.
When you're talking about the chicken game at a fast food establishment, I don't know if anyone does better than Wendy's. So
they've always done a great job.
There's always great with it. The nugs are great, but now the tendies, like it just works way too perfect to be Wendy's tendies. Like they're gonna kill it. They always do, and they're great friends over here to Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, and of course Wisconsin Sports Daily coming up right after this, served up by Wendy's.
Exactly. And shout out to Shannon, one of our teammates over in Thailand, who facilitates all that and keeps us happy.
The facilitator. That should be his nickname.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
he's
that.
great.
All right, so we've got our weekly picks. Tommy, you want to go over the standings?
Yes.
Real quickly first.
The standings. Mitch Nellis, you were at the top 32, 28-1 after we pushed on Green Bay last week.
Right.
Mason is 30-30-1. I am 28-32-1 as we are heading into week 12 of picks. Is that correct? Right? I think we're on the 12th week of the NFL season. That's crazy to say out loud. And we will start with a couple of college football games to start things off. Let's start with the Badgers to keep things relevant. University of Illinois. University?
Bielema's
what is it?
University of Illinois.
Brett Bielema and the Illini
Bielema's a bomb.
coming to Camp Randall. This one is maybe the most interesting line we have of the entire day.
Oh, I think so.
Illinois opened up as 9.5-point favorites, and now they are down to 7.5 points. A lot of people riding with the Badgers on this one. You got to assume that every team is going to put up at least 20 points on the Badgers. Yeah. And I don't know.
Washington didn't.
Sure. I just don't know how the Badgers get to 14 points in a ball game. I just can't see it. So I will be with the Illini on the spread of this one. I'm just too scared to pick the Badgers to cover any games, especially only a touchdown when you know how putrid the offense is.
Mason also picked Illinois. And I am like, I want to believe that, having been there 2 weeks ago, that there is some Camp Randall magic, that they are going to compete in this one. I think they will compete in this one.
It is a night game.
Yeah. And so I think they compete, but I think Illinois still ends up the victor. And so it's like, I don't want to play around with those points. I'll take Illinois. I think all three of us are going to take Illinois. But have the Badgers, did they turn a corner with what they did against Washington, which what they did in the first half against Indiana?
Would you have rather lost the Washington game just to win this game?
No, because I was at the Washington game.
You were at the Washington game, I guess that makes sense.
But also, yes. Do I like ruining Brett Bielema's day? Sure. But I feel like for timing purposes, they needed to win that game.
Yeah, they did.
They had to win that game. It's why the crowd stormed the field. It wasn't a storming of the field. It was just a celebrating. Like, it was just a sigh of relief more than anything.
They storm the field again if they beat Brett Bielema.
No, I don't think today's. I think they got that out of the system. I think they had to get that win, but I don't think there's any storming if they beat Illinois.
So everyone is rocking with Illinois with Badgers 7.5-point dogs as Bielema coming back. Is this his first game back at Camp Randall?
I don't think so. No, he's been there.
How long has he been in Illinois?
Well, a while now.
Like
5-6 years?
Really? Is it that long?
I think it's a while.
Okay, well, Anyway, yeah, hate to pick with Brett Bielema there. Maybe he'll get the Arkansas job after this season.
I
That would
think,
probably work out.
Been
pretty
there,
well.
done that, right?
Yeah.
He's been he's been in Illinois since 21. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 50.
Wow, dang! I didn't realize he's been there that long. But good for Brett Bielema, I guess.
Right. I guess at best.
Let's keep it with college football. This is
Mhm.
probably the biggest game of the week on the college football ledger, and it is a Big Ten matchup, which is weird to say.
It's a Pac-12 matchup.
USC at Oregon. I think this is a de facto playoff game in my mind, Mitch Nellis.
I think you're right.
I think Oregon is, for some reason, way too high a favorite in this game.
Okay.
Mason Crosby rocking with USC,
Okay.
and I'm tailing Mason Crosby on this.
Okay.
I don't think that Oregon is that much better than USC. USC has a defense this year. They don't typically have a defense with Lincoln Riley over there. Yeah, they always stink on defense.
Yep.
They're a little bit better than they have been in the past, and I think Oregon has had some pretty underwhelming games against Iowa, against Wisconsin this year. And I see it as not just they won't cover. I think USC can win this game outright. Yeah, I really
Eugene.
do. Yeah, I do.
Oh, baby.
I do.
I am going Oppo. And more, it's like I don't trust USC.
Yeah.
It's not that, and I agree with you. I don't really trust Oregon this year, the way I have in past years. I have a feeling most of my picks this week are more heart picks, although I guess I would have picked Wisconsin then, although it's kind of fun to pick against them. I'm going Oregon. I think that at Oregon, I think USC has played better than expected this year, but I think it finally catches up to them. I do think this is an old school Pac-12, like, you get them in Eugene, and Oregon just has extra juice for this one. Oregon didn't get up for Iowa. Oregon didn't get up for Wisconsin. They get up for USC.
Mhm.
Oregon covers.
Yeah, weird. That's a Pac-12 game that's in the Big Ten now.
Yep. I don't like that at all.
I got you.
Okay.
So you're rocking with Oregon.
I'm
right?
rocking with Oregon in
All
that
right,
one.
I
Yep.
just got to
Mhm.
make sure I'm writing them
Yep.
down here as we go.
The next game, I'll just throw it out since we're busy actually working and I'm just standing around doing nothing. Let's go Steelers at Bears.
Nice.
Not fully confident who is starting a quarterback for the Steelers, right? But we think Aaron will start, right? Don't you think Aaron will start?
I hope Aaron starts in this game
I do
because
too.
I'm getting sick of the Bears a little bit, just a little bit.
Did you see the stat of like their opponent's winning percentage to this point is
Yeah,
like
it's terrible.
370?
Yeah, it's
and
not
the
good.
rest of the season is like 600 basically.
Well, I just, if you're a Bears fan, like I get it. It's been tough. It's been rough for a couple of years.
Rejoice. That's
But
okay.
like to come out here and just the ish talking that's
Right.
going all over the place. Like, dude, win a playoff game with your new guy, make the playoffs even, right? I mean, like just like let things simmer because us as Packer fans know all about it, where it's like there's egg on your face at the end of this. And Bears fans, they're ready to jump on it and pounce on it.
It feels better than it did Sunday, that's for sure. I was thankful to get Wednesday to work with head athletic trainer, just focus on rehab for today, trying to get back on the field Thursday and see what I can do. It's a safety thing, Rodgers said, shooting down the notion that his ability to play would come down to pain management. It's whether it'll get worse and that he's putting his, the rest of his season at jeopardy by playing. So Bears at Steelers, is that right?
Yeah.
And it is
Steelers at Bears.
I'm sorry, Steelers at Bears. Bears are favored by 3. Man, I gotta take the Steelers.
Really?
I do. I just gotta take the Steelers. I just think they figure out a way. Aaron owns the Bears. Like it's on Wikipedia, so it must be true. He is the owner of the Chicago Bears. I'm taking the Steelers plus the 3. I don't care.
Mason Crosby also rocking with the Steelers.
Wow, that's his bestie.
Yeah, I know. I'm just.
You want to go Bears?
Well,
I can hear it in your voice.
No, I want to go Steelers, but I want to go
Okay.
Bears if it's Mason Rudolph. Like I don't. I think that this is a total trap. I'm gonna rock with the Steelers with the assumption that Aaron Rodgers is gonna play in this game. But if it's not Aaron Rodgers, then the Bears are going to cover, and it's going to be.
We're not allowed
stupid.
to change.
Yeah, I know.
Once we're locked in, we're locked in.
I know. I'm locked in with the Steelers as well. I think they're better than the Bears. I just think that the Bears are going to end up getting lucky, and Mason Rudolph's going to play this game.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking to see if he practiced or not today, and it says he did not. All I'm getting is that he did not practice on
Well,
Wednesday,
you know
which
what?
I already know.
It's probably his last season, so he's going to go out there, right?
I think so.
I mean, just
Yeah.
all or nothing. What's he got to lose, right?
Yep.
So
Agreed.
I'm with that.
Yep.
Giants are at the Lions, and the Lions are 11-point favorites over the New York Giants.
I'm
Mitch
gonna go
Nellis?
at home. I'm going to go with the Lions.
Yeah.
I think the Giants really fought well last week, and they got that bump from Jameis Winston last week. Going to Detroit is a different situation. Detroit's going to come out on all cylinders after being embarrassed in Philadelphia. Their offense is embarrassed. This could be like another 52-21 game. This has all the makings for Detroit, just like blowing up on offense. The only worry here is, of course, is if it's a trap game for the Lions, knowing that Green Bay is coming to town on Thursday. I don't feel the same way about the Packers because it's the Vikings. It's a division game. This could be a trap game for the Lions, but I think this is the type of game that they score between 42 plus just on the Lions.
I agree with that one. I also think that this is screaming. Jameis gets so lucky last week on not turning the ball over as much as he should have.
Good point.
4 turnovers, maybe, I think, for the Lions in this. If the line was at 3.5, I feel like that would be a great line. But yeah, I'm also rocking with the Lions. Mason Crosby as well has the Detroit Lions this one.
That over-under is 50. I think it'll blast. I think we're looking at like a 70-point game here. That's not my lock of the week. That's just an added. Of course, my lock will lose and that one will hit. But I'm just letting everybody know I do really like that over.
Yeah, and now we get to our solo game. Pick any game, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All betting odds, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook in our weekly pick segment.
Might as well throw Mason's out there.
Mason is going to go with the New England Patriots this week, who are 6.5-point favorites at Cincinnati. I like the pick on paper, although no Jamar Chase. Yeah, I mean that's a great pick. That's a great pick. The
Joe
Patriots.
Burrow was a full participant in yesterday's practice.
I don't think he's going to play.
I don't think so either. He's in the 21-day window. There's no reason.
And no Jamar Chase because he spit on him.
Right. Until we get through some practices, there's no reason for me to even speculate on that. So they're eyeing Thanksgiving.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll look.
So he's taking the Patriots.
Patriots. For my pick here, by the way, the Lions line just went down to 10.5, literally in front of my eyes, right there.
Well, we're still in segment.
Yeah, I mean,
should we throw it out at 2.5? Throw it out to, you know what? We earned that extra half point.
Okay, 10.5. All right, I got it. It literally just switched right in front of my face.
As long as the segment's not over.
I think that's
somebody at the Potawatomi Sportsbook literally listening to our show talking about how we are idiots and betting against us.
How gross is this game? Browns are at Raiders. First of all, that game being at 3:00 is a crime too. Like that being in that late window.
Raiders can't play early though.
No, they can't. I guess that makes sense.
You're taking that game?
No, I was
just saying how
just looking. There's a lot of fun and interesting games this week. But I'm gonna go with. I guess I shouldn't do Monday Night Football probably either, right?
You can if you want to, if you love it, if it's your guarantee. You want me to? I'm gonna go. I'll go. And then you'll. All right. I'm going back to college. I'm going with my heart. Tennessee is at Florida. Tennessee is only a 4-point favorite in this one. I think Tennessee cruises in this one. I think Florida's pretty done for the year. I don't think they get up for this one. They get up for Georgia. They don't get up for Tennessee. Tennessee pretty easily covers -4 at Florida. That's a Saturday night game in Gainesville. I know that, they're at home, but I don't care. I'm taking Tennessee in that one.
I'm rocking with the Jags again this week.
Oh yeah, let's go Jags.
I'm big.
The teal is for real.
Tommy is big in Jacksonville now. I'm trying to grow a fan base there.
Mrs. Thunder's sister has a little old crush on Tommy. No big deal. Don't worry about it.
3-point favorites this week heading to Arizona. Jacoby Brissett just broke the record for the most passes completed in a game. Can't have a better performance, it feels like. Right. So I'm going with Jacksonville, 3-point favorites in Arizona.
I like it.
We have to go to one more game here, and that is the Green Bay Packers. Mason Crosby is copping out 27-17. The Packers win over the Minnesota Vikings. Mitch Nellis.
Let's see. It is Minnesota at Green Bay. I may have said in our promo that we run that it was at Minnesota. Obviously, it's not. The line is 6.5. Is that right?
Yep.
I feel pretty good with the Packers. 24-13. and kind of the defense finds its way. The off, I don't know. I just feel 24-13.
Okay. I'm going a 24-20 and Minnesota covers.
Okay,
But Packers
so
win.
we have the same score until like 40 seconds left when Tennessee scores a backdoor touchdown to cover.
I think it's gonna be an interesting game. I think that they always are between Packers and Vikings. I think
you're not
6.5 is a big number for this Packers offense that we have a lot of questions about. I think Green Bay can escape with a victory, but would it not put it past you? You know how Minnesota Vikings get. I mean, like, this is their Super Bowl every year, just playing the Green Bay Packers. I know it's not at home, which is really their Super Bowl this year.
Yep.
But I'm going to say the Vikings keep it close,
Nice.
24-20. Packers
Okay.
win.
Lock in those picks, Tommy. When we come back, we will wrap things up here on the Mason Crosby Show. Bucks in action tonight. We'll talk about that for a minute as well. The Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Absolute banger. Sorry, YouTube. This is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Mitch Nellis, Tommy Wirtz with you on this dreary. Did we say is that the word we decided on? Yeah.
Yep.
On this dreary Thursday, and we hope things are not dreary at Fiserv Forum tonight. It is the Milwaukee Bucks hosting the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. The 76ers, I believe, currently 2.5-point favorites in Milwaukee. Of course, we know no Giannis, no Kevin Porter Jr., no Taurean Prince, Gary Harris, who only plays a couple minutes a game, kind of a questionable free agent signing for the team, not really a fit. He is now questionable with illness, and I think Paul George, who's only played one game all year, just came back off injury, did not play last night, with the thoughts that he's going to play tonight, not playing back-to-back games, so that just adds a little more fuel to the fire that the Milwaukee Bucks will need to overcome tonight. Listen, we talked about it yesterday. They're going to have a challenge here without Giannis over the next 7 to 14 days, whatever it ends up being. And Philadelphia is one of those teams. If the playoffs were to start today, as we know, the Bucks are out of the playoffs. They're the 11, but they are half a game behind Philly, and Philly's the 8th seed. And they are one game behind Atlanta, who's the 5 seed. So it's all jumbled up between the Raptors at 2. The Toronto Raptors are the 2. The Toronto Raptors at 2 and the Bucks at 11 are all separated by 2 games. So somebody wins 3 games in a row and they go from 10th to 3rd. That's how early we are in the season. I think knowing that Giannis isn't playing helps, because then everybody knows their role. It's a lot easier than when he gets hurt in a game and there had been planned, the game map had been planned and now it's not planned. So we'll figure out how that goes. I never heard an update if UW Green Bay actually got to the Paradise Jam to play. They're playing Yale tomorrow morning at 11:30. I know Doug Gottlieb had talked on Inside Wisconsin Sports yesterday morning that they were having some travel issues and that they had 15 seats on the next flight out. So he was going to have to pick between his roster of 17, 18 guys, plus 5 or 6 assistants, plus the doctor, plus the team trainer. I think that's a fascinating conversation. What 15 do you take?
Okay, you can only bring 5 from from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Ooh, you can only take 5?
You can only take 5.
All right, me, you, and Mason, and I don't care. How about that? I mean,
Sparky and Charlie.
So do we take? Do we just
we
go
gotta take
the OGs?
Sparky? You got to take Sparky.
Or do we need to leave Sparky behind because he's so good at logistics? He will be able to manage everything behind the scenes.
First of all, if anyone's getting left behind, it's Tommy. Because of logistics.
You're the first person to go.
Logistics here.
You're the first person who's on the bus.
I'd get left behind.
You're on the plane.
100%.
Tomorrow also, and we'll talk about this during the show tomorrow. Badgers are playing BYU at 3:00 tomorrow on Peacock.
Yeah, Luke Brown going to join us from Locked On Vikings as well. 1:00. Do a little bit of Eye on the Enemy.
Yep, and Mikey Henninger, of course, to do our fantasy football
How
thing.
good of a pick is Emmanuel Wilson versus Chris Brooks?
That's right. 4:20 today. Sparky will do his Eye on the Enemy with Vikings beat reporter Alec Lewis. So stay tuned today at 4:20. Thank you very much to Ben Steele. Thank you very much to Dusty Evely. Thank you very much to Tommy Big TK Wirtz. This has been the Mason Crosby Show with me, Mitch Thunder Nellis, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
I was